Hello and welcome to the Zoom room. It is time for the Friday of Royal Ascot with Silvestre, Sousa and Bill Esdaile. I'm standing in for Luke Tarr. This is Johnny Ward. Luke is having a few beers, or I don't know, at a wedding or something. He's enjoying himself. Bill, are you enjoying Royal Ascot? You were basking in the sunshine on day one.
Yeah, all good. You can't complain. I mean, Ascot's just such a terrific spectacle, and yeah, there's good races, bad races, but no, you got to love Ascot.
Sil, what will the ground be like, do you think, by the Friday at the first race?
I hope it will be a better ground than what is. The ground's been very fast, and by now I think it's a little bit biased on the ground, and could be on the far side or the stand side, But we haven't seen a winner come up to the middle, It's something in there, But I hope the race come and it'll be consistent ground all the way through.
Do you think it's fair to say there has been a bias against middle drawn horses?
I think so. I think you have to be right on the far rail, on the stand rail. When you look at the race, it looks like all the winners been coming that way,
I'd like to say, Bill, that's an excuse for it. It's probably an excuse for one or two of the horses I've backed, but I think they've been beaten so far that it mightn't have been. But it is a tricky one for punters. And obviously, by the time Friday comes around, you're talking about potentially different parameters as well.
Yeah, I think it's a tricky one for punters. I think it's a tricky one for the clerk of the course. I feel so sorry for these. We saw what went on at Epsom, and you've got a water, and then the rain comes, and here he is putting 4 or 5 mils on it each night, leading up to this forecasted big deluge of rain that's going to land on Friday and Thursday. It must be really, really hard, because as he's said all day long, his job is to produce safe ground, and that's what he's got to do, and it can't be lightning fast. So he has to keep applying water. So it's no easy task.
I certainly wouldn't envy that job, to be fair. But let's get straight into the action. I'd love to save a ride in the Albany, which is a race I'm a big fan of every year. Sale, unfortunately, you don't ride Flotus. You did ride this filly by Star Spangled Banner on debut. Very interesting runner in the race. Prettiest. What a pedigree by Dubawi out of Alice Springs. But you obviously do like this filly Flotus, who will be ridden by Frankie Dettori on Friday.
Absolutely, yeah. She gave me a hell of a feeling. And the race went wrong from the starts for her, but I think she's a machine. I don't think she prefers any ground. I think whatever ground she is, she can gallop out. She can gallop out well. So no, I think everybody have to beat her.
Wow, big words.
She's really good. She's really good.
Bill, this race, I obviously mentioned Prettiest on the bare form. She'd have a bit to find. That the Irish 2-year-olds haven't maybe been setting the world on fire so far this week, but just with that pedigree, you'd have to respect her as well, and you'd have to respect what Sale is saying about the Godolphin filly.
Yeah, I mean, Gavin Cromwell's filly was good in
That's true.
In the Queen Mary, and there's a line through her in a minute. We'll talk about the obvious one, Flotus. When Sylv describes something as a machine, she is a machine, and she's the obvious one. She gets the first vote. She did, as Sylv said, everything went wrong at Goodwood, and she still ran out an impressive winner. I think she's the best of that leading bunch of Hello You and Prettiest. At bigger prices, so I go Flotus, but at a bigger price, I was looking at kind of Elliptic and Eve Lodge. Eve Lodge was a non-runner on Wednesday, waiting for the rain. She'll love the soft ground if it comes. Charlie Fellow's horse, I thought that would run well, and Elliptic, Donica O'Brien's horse, who that one bit of form where she beat Quick Susie first time up at Tipperary, and then
I think she was beaten by a Star the last day as well.
Yeah, beaten by a really good horse who's a colt as well, so she's back against her own sex. I thought Elliptic and Flotus, maybe playing a bit of a forecast there, but I'd probably take Eve Lodge, Elliptic, and Flotus, and play the 3.
And Donica did have a 2-year-old run very well, in fairness, on the Tuesday. Let's get on to the King Edward. This is a fascinating race. I'll just start with you, Bill, because the Mediterranean, I think, his form kind of ties in with the Irish trials for the Derby, because he was obviously just behind Fernando Vici last time. If you watch this race again, this is all about experience. Fernando Vici is fairly battled hard at this stage, and the Mediterranean is essentially a lightly raced horse. I think he'll improve loads from that, even though it was 15 days ago. Before we get to Silsmount, who's a big enough price, what are you liking it?
Well, the favourite here, Alan Keir, has that one piece of form where he beat the Derby winner, so that's why he'll be favourite. But he'll be fine on the ground. It's just the trip that worries me with Alan Keir, because he's there was a comment that trainer William Haggis came out with saying, I've got it in front of me, but he said he stayed a stiff mile and a quarter there, wandering about, and you'd have to say the tank was empty going to the line.
Right.
A couple of furlongs on a more forgiving track wouldn't be out of the question. So it's not the bullish words of a trainer who thinks he's going to be improved for a mile and a half. So that worries me about Alan Kerr. I thought Title would run well. Roger Varian's horse is around 5-6 to 1. Title beat good filly of William Haggis's called Sea Carrots in a Yarmouth maiden last time. Now he'd obviously have to step up, but he comes from good connections, well bred, will stay. I thought he would be the one for me.
Bellaccio, the horse that you ride, Sil, you obviously don't know a lot about this horse. Had nice form in France on soft ground last year, but obviously would have to step up from those Derby trials.
Yes, absolutely. Yeah, he's when you take his last 2 run, and he does got a nice form, and he's gonna run a competitive race. I hope he can get the ground by Friday. But to me, it's an interesting run. Is Gear Up. I think if he bouncing back, he could be competitive. But I hope I can win the race with a big prize.
I'd give a strong enough word for the Mediterranean there. I just think the way he raced the last day, he's loads of improvement in him. I think he'll definitely outrun his mark, and I think he could be well back. But the Irish are strongly represented in the Commonwealth Cup. You have a fascinating mount here, Sil, because this is a horse by Frankel, who I'm not sure if Frankel has had many winners at Group 1 level over 6 furlongs, yes, especially as 3-year-olds. But this horse, actually, the way he raced a 2-year-old, you wouldn't necessarily say dropping back in trip is going to be a major issue, because the last time we saw him, he ran quite well in the Dewhurst when he looked like he didn't stay. What do you make of it?
Well, he's a lovely horse. We think a lot of him, and probably that's why Andrew's been taking his time with him. And probably he's not the easy ones to train him, but I went another day last week and I galloped him. He felt good, and the question mark, he didn't have a prepper race to come for this race. We're right in the deep end, but the horse is in good shape, and I respect a big running for him.
Miss Amulet's an interesting horse here coming over, Bill, who obviously has plenty of experience, just didn't really seem to handle the ground at all at the Curragh the last day. One of a couple of interesting ones for Ken Condon. So many and with chance there. Obviously, Campanella is probably the obvious place to start.
Yeah, Campanella's the obvious one. She won the Queen Mary last year, and then won a one in Deauville on bad ground, a mile stretched her at Keeneland last time. She's very smart. Wesley Ward's, American haven't had any luck to this point, and so far this week. But Frankie Dettori dropping trip back to 6. She's a player, but she's well found in the market. I actually like the French filly, Sousa, at the bottom that William Buick rides. She just seems to be getting better and better and better, and ran away with a good race on 6 furlongs. And the very fact that they are making the trip over during these COVID times, I thought 5 to 1 Sousa. She was top of my list, and then I might swing the bat at a random one, which is the top one. A Case for You, Adrian McGuinness's horse. If the rain does come, I thought this horse is got some nice bits of soft ground form, and at around 16 to 1 or bigger, some firms playing 4 places. I thought that was a definite interesting play there. A Case for You.
Yeah, A Case of You and Pretty Gorgeous both ran in maidens at Bellewstown earlier in their career. So it just shows, obviously, Pretty Gorgeous was a favourite for a classic when we last saw her. Sticking with you on this, Bill, she has a lot to prove. There wasn't really great word for her. Obviously, she swerved Newmarket, then went to the Curragh and was disappointing when Impress Josephine won. Shamie Heffernan said after the race that day that if she'd been beaten, it would have been his fault. She looked a little bit inexperienced, but she was well on top of the line. She takes on Mother Earth, obviously, as well, another filly with the same connections. The Irish should probably win this, I would have thought.
Yeah, I would have thought so. Mother Earth, Pretty Gorgeous, Empress Josephine. It's a bit of a coin toss. Of those ones, I probably like Pretty Gorgeous. I thought she just got a bit tired. She looked like she wasn't ready last time. Mother Earth will run her usual race. I don't think the ground will be bad enough for Empress Josephine. I like Pretty Gorgeous. As I said, I would also put in a word for the German filly, November. He might be my main kind of play in the race. The very fact, again, like the last race, copy and paste, coming over during these COVID times. This was a filly that won by miles last time, but the key to her, she made all. She's drawn in trap 1 here, good draw for a filly that likes to make all, likes a bit of cut in the ground. And I thought, she's just interesting. And at 14 to 1, she would do for me, but I think Pretty Gorgeous is the one to beat.
Of the home team as well, Sil, you look at Snow Lantern, who's out of Sky Lantern by Frankel, obviously, and Alcohol Free is a horse you like.
Yes, absolutely. Yeah. And, Alcohol Free, and I think she's a smart filly. she finished 50 the Guineas, but I give her a chance this time.
Yeah, you do not have a ride in that race, but when we move on to the Sandringham, which is obviously the handicap for fillies, you are on a very, very interesting runner here in the shape of Rikna. Now, this horse only beat a horse rated 70 last time, who's at Halajul, who's fairly exposed, ex-Irish actually. But seems to have a nice way of going, and obviously running off 82. I think a lot of people, their eyes will be taken by the fact that you're doing 8 stone 1 here, which means you obviously won't be eating for the next while.
Yes, I think I have to take a big caution there in my portions.
Yeah.
But
so do Bill and I, to be fair. But anyway.
Yeah. And with that weight, and I think she got a chance. We throw in the deep end. She needs a bit to prove, but she's on the bottom. She's on the bottom of the handicap, and we need to play catch up there. But with low weight, you think she could be running free.
How will the draw be?
I'm happy with the draw. High draw, 26. So I wouldn't mind that.
This could be a 10 to 1 the field job, Bill.
Yeah, wide open contest. I like top one. I like Friendly. Ryan Morey, Aidan O'Brien. I thought that was a hell of a run, the Irish Guineas, and I like these O'Brien fillies with a bit of class at the top of the weights here. I think she'll run well, and she'll be booked for the frame. Whether she's just got too much weight remains to be seen.
Would you be the type to kind of, like, you're watching that form, obviously, be franked or otherwise in the Coronation? So are you the type who'll wait for that, or will you take your chance forehand, or will you say, well, if for example, Empress Josephine and Pretty Gorgeous run extremely well, you'll be like, well, that form's franked and she's run off 100 here?
I think they're very. I wouldn't bother waiting. For me, she showed enough in that race to say that she's taking giant strides forward, and she's classy, and on face value 102 looks tough, but reality is she might be heading back to group company after this. She could, it wouldn't have surprised me if she'd ended up in the Coronation here. She could have run in that race, but she goes off top weight in the Sandringham. I think she'll go well. There's lots of others like Castana, the Gosden horse, is obviously well handicapped. I thought Glasgow Gal of Hugo Palmer's is interesting. You can make cases for Pomelo. Samut of Sir Michael Stouts. There's lots of cases you can make for so many of these, but I've just got this feeling that Friendly will run really well.
A fascinating renewal of the penultimate race, the Duke of Edinburgh, obviously, and you're straight away from bottom weight to top one here. Alunak, and this is an interesting horse running in the familiar colours of King Power. Top weight still, probably going to be a bit of a price, but an interesting contender.
Yeah, he is. He's, obviously we stepping down grade. That's why he carried top weight. And, it's hard to do, but it's not impossible. The horse is in good shape. He had a run into his belt already this year. And, I think we've been all in chase, probably Mark Johnson's horse, Zabil champion. And he's a smart horse. I think we all have to beat him. He's a big prize, but we give our best and we chase him, I guess.
Did he give you any sort of a feel the last day at Ascot?
Yes, he got tired, and I just look after him, and I hope he come, better fitness wise to this race. He's a big frame of a horse, and I think we're in the right race. We're carrying top weight, but it's tough, competitive. Yes. But he should run well.
So he has the physical attributes to handle top weight anyway.
Yes.
I'm not going to lie, this one, I know Moran, I definitely respect, and there's a horse Johnny Murtagh trains. Actually, back to 2 runs back when it disappointed at Cork, but was much, much better last time. This is very, very tough, Bill.
Yeah, Moran was my selection.
Right.
I think he's got a big chance. A bit unlucky last time. And
yeah.
Step up into it. I thought Johnny Murtagh's horse ran well on the Wednesday at Ascot. I thought that was going to run well. I thought Moran, obviously Ryan Moore, but for Tritonic was interesting. And a day's a bit short, but yeah, no, Moran would be my main dart, maybe with Tritonic.
Tritonic, oh my, that would be interesting. Tritonic, a very interesting one with a Ryan Moore book there, obviously. Disappointed, I thought, at Cheltenham, but still a horse with plenty of ability. We're down to the last race, Bill. Are you going to potentially get us out here if we need a winner in what's another massive field in the Prince of Hollywood House Stakes?
Yeah, well, this is the race that Silv won last year, I think, from memory, on Art Power. I think it was the race he won.
Indeed.
Charlie Hill's horse's favourite, deserves to be a quality. I like a horse called Significantly here. I thought that ran really well behind Dragon Symbol last time, and whether Trap 24 is still a good draw, I think it probably will be. Point and shoot job for Carl Burke, but bits and bobs of form seems to be improving. I just thought that would run really well.
This horse you riding, Sail Warrior Brave, I actually remember him starting off in Ireland last year for Small Enough Connections. Now, I'm not sure, there's a couple of things here. I'm not sure he's the most well-named horse because he seemed to sort of dodge the issue at Sandown last time. But against that, I wouldn't mind owning the horse who's won 3 of his last 6.
Yes, absolutely. Yeah, he's I felt last time he was a bit soft, and I asked the connection if you could put some headgear on him, and
they listened.
Yes, that's a good way.
Mick Appleby said, Silvestre de Sousa is right. You were always right. I'm going to put blinkers in this horse, and he's going to win at Royal Ascot.
Yeah, he just feel a bit soft for me. He needs, and he had few races, but he's just not there yet mentally. But he's been done nothing wrong, and he run a couple of good races, and I just hope the race doesn't come too quick for him.
He clearly has plenty of ability.
Yes, I think so.
Right. Is he your best selection of the day on the Friday of Royal Ascot?
Well, I think he come with a chance. I got other rides, so we all there in the mix. So I hope to have a good day, and if any horse could come in, I'll be pleased.
If you go through Royal Ascot and you don't have a winner, do you still kind of smile on the Saturday and know that life is good, or are you a bad loser?
I am a bad loser, but I still have to smile.
He is one of the gents of the game, Bill. There's no doubt.
Oh yeah, I've worked with Sil for probably 4 or 5 years now, and I know that I can hear Vicky in the background. She's got a different view. He's 3 defeat in the same, and he smiles when things go well, and he smiles when things go badly.
What is Vicky actually saying, Sil?
Wow. She says a lot of things I don't want to say when I get home.
Yeah, exactly. No further questions, Your Honour.
No further. When I have a win, they're all happy. When I don't have a win, I feel pressures on, even from the boys at home.
What's your nap on day 4, Bill?
My nap on day 4, I will probably. I actually think the German filly is going to run really well in the Coronation. November in June. There you go.
November. Interesting to see it. It'd be great to see a German raider win Royal Ascot.
Yeah, I think she'll run well.
I think they might have better chance their football team in the base of the defeat against France. I'm going to give the Mediterranean as my nap in the King Edward. Obviously, this is a race that's Aidan targets. I just think he's loads of improvement in him. Typical Galileo. But lads, that was great fun. Still, really praying now that you have a winner on the Friday.
Thank you.
And Bill, we shall talk to you for the Saturday card as well in due course.
Look forward to it.
Thanks, guys.
Thank you. Cheers, Bill.